What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today in this video, we're going to show you guys how to use Popsicle Finance. So now that Popsicle Finance launched, we're going to teach you guys how to provide liquidity and why, in my opinion, it is going to start to become the black hole for liquidity. In this video, we're going to show you guys how you can stake your ICE token as well as farm with your LP tokens using Popsicle. All right, so let's go and deep dive into this video and show you guys what's up. In Popsicle Finance, you have two different options. You have Sorbetto and Stand. And this is basically where you can provide liquidity for ICE. We'll show you that later, but let's go ahead and show you guys Sorbetto. Sorbetto is basically what we're going to use in order to show you guys how to provide liquidity with different tokens and earn better rewards. So basically these guys are going to be concentrating your liquidity for you, and you can actually join into these pools, and you can join single-sided if you want. You don't have to join in both. You can literally just zap in. So if you want to zap in, you can just say, hey, I want to just zap in all my ETH, USDT. It's up to, well, actually USDC in this case. And you can deposit it, and it'll do it all in one transaction for you. So this is basically like making DeFi easy for people. So you can either use ETH or you join proportionally. If you're iffy on gas fees and you don't have a bunch of USDC in your wallet, or if you don't have USDC in your wallet, you can use the Zap feature. However, keep in mind there is going to be a bit of slippage, but hey, I mean, depending on how much you're dealing with. If you're dealing with $100,000, it's probably best for you to get some big boy panties and just go make that swap. But if you're dealing with a couple $1,000s, it's probably best just to do the single transaction, because the gas fees almost kind of like eat your lunch. It eats anyone's lunch. It's crazy. But we just went to governance. We went the wrong way. So we're going to go back to the different pools. So you can do ETH, USDC. You can do ETH, USDT. You can do Bitcoin, ETH. You can do DYDX, ETH, Phantom, ETH. You can see all the different pools here. And these are the numbers to keep in mind. These pool, like the 0.3% or 0.05, this is the fee that is going to be paid. So assets and tier pool of the fee. So basically TLDR is for every $100 you get 5 cents in swap fees. Like if it's someone swaps $100 worth, you get 5 cents. If it's $1,000 worth, you get 50 cents. If it's $10,000 worth, you get $5. And if it's 100,000, you get $50. So something to keep in mind. That's how you can play around with it. That is why it's the 0.05. Now, keep in mind, because it's a lower fee, a lot more volume will be going through this. It's just like Sam's Club. Sam's Club does a lot more volume, but it has lower prices, so wouldn't they make less? Well, no, they do more volume, they do more transactions than something like retail, like Publix or like Kmart or a convenience store, whatever. So the other pools like 0.3%, and then you also have 1% pools for ones that are not traded as much. Like Phantom ETH doesn't really get as much volume through it. It just doesn't. The best thing to do is go on Uniswap and see what the different transactions are. So if you see here on Sorbetto Fregola, this will actually go through Uniswap v3 and is the optimizer. Like I was telling you, it gives you the maximum yields. They will automatically pick the best positions and the best pools, because with Uniswap v3, it's concentrated liquidity now. You aren't just depositing 50-50. It actually concentrates your liquidity. And if you are just pooling 50-50, you're going to get wrecked, because you have professional market makers that are actually out there providing liquidity with ETH between 3,500 and 3,700, while you're just going from 0 to infinity. Well, basically, they're going to eat your lunch, because they're going to get all the trading fees and all the liquidity, because they're whales, so they can move around. That's what Popsicle Finance is solving. That is what it's doing. Like, if you wanted to do that, yes, you can do it, but you got to pay those ridiculous ETH gas fees, so they're going to eat into your profits. That's why the whales take over. It's basically the quote-unquote one whale powered by a bunch of frogs behind it that are depositing into the pools. So as you can see, 0.3% and so on. And it gives pretty high APRs, because it's actually concentrating the liquidity. Whereas if you just went directly on Uniswap and you just did infinite, it would probably give you like 10% or 12%. I can tell you from experience. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And that's what Popsicle Finance is doing. Now, what's really interesting when you deposit into these pools, keep in mind there is such thing as impermanent loss, because if I deposit just ETH into here, it is going to sell some of it for spell so I can LP with it. Yes, I will be getting rewards to recoup for it, and it'll be thrown back in there and auto compounds the yields for me. That's something I also didn't mention as well, is it's auto compounding, so I don't even have to pay for those fees. But with the impermanent loss is something you need to keep in mind. If I deposit ETH in here and it sells half of it into a stable coin and ETH literally 5x's the next day, well, basically I'm just going to sell a bunch of ETH for a stable coin, because that's just what happens when you have LP positions. So that still takes into account, and that is still being factored in. Basically, TLDR on Popsicle Finance is you are going to get an extremely high APR compared to what it would be on Uniswap. This is more so for someone who is like, okay, I got about $5,000 in stable coins, or like $10,000, and I don't know what to do with it. I don't want to buy ETH. I don't want full exposure to it. I just want the best APRs I can get. Well, basically, you can deposit into here and get like 51% APR, not APY, APR on a quote-unquote stablecoin. Yes, you're selling some into ETH, and you are getting ETH exposure. So if ETH goes down, you will lose some of your money depending on how much it goes down. If it goes to zero, well, you'll lose it all. But then again, the opposite is true. If ETH goes to the moon, well, you're going to get way higher APRs because you actually sold a position into ETH, a position of your stable coins, if that's such a thing, into ETH, and you started earning some of those appreciation fees, I guess you can call it, or moonbag fees. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Now, next is the stand. This is where you can LP with your ICE tokens. So you can LP with ICE and ETH, and ICE and ETH on SushiSwap. And this is where you can earn a pretty good yield, 0.2 or 0.5% daily. That's pretty juicy. I can't complain with that. But yeah, this is where you can earn some ICE. So basically you LP ICE with ETH and you earn some of the rewards. Now, the next one is bridging. Bridging is what you can do with your ICE tokens. So you can actually bridge your ICE tokens to other chains. Now, why is this important? Well, if ICE is selling for $100 on ETH and it's selling for $120 on Phantom, you can actually bridge it over and, well, get a bonus. Keep in mind there are fees. So yes, is the arbitrage worth it? You need to make sure, especially if it's swapping several tokens. If it's like one token and it's like a 40% positive, try adding in like 200 tokens and seeing if it changes anything. If you add 200 tokens, then now it automatically says, oh, well, it's only going to be $90 here. Yeah, it's such a thing called slippage because there's no liquidity over there. So make sure you do that when you guys are checking those things. Now, next thing you can do is stake your ICE. This is basically earning a yield from the protocol. So right now, one ICE equals 1.0075 ICE. This is like your X sushi. This will automatically increase every single day. Actually, you can see right here, basically ICE is getting 20% fee sharing of the Popsicle Finance fees. So right now it is a bit lower because they are actually capping what you can put into the protocol. So if you go to Popsicle Finance, these positions are capped. That's why you can see the TVL at 1.42 million, a couple thousand, million. So you can see we're barely even reaching the millions in TVLs. These caps were reached like that. They opened them up and they hit the caps. They're going to be releasing more or opening up more caps, but they want to take it low and slow. Slow and steady wins the race. If you guys know Danny went through a hack a while back and he still is going through PTSD with that. And I don't blame him, man. I mean, that guy repaid it all. That guy's a giga Chad. I love that guy. He repaid people after they got hacked. He paid them in full. I can't believe he did that, but he did. Kudos to him. Keep doing what you're doing, Danny. Keep your head up, man. Anything I can do to help, let me know. But Popsicle Finance, pretty fire sauce. Play around with it. That's typically how you can use it. 3 things to keep in mind is, first, smart contract risk. Second, you have impermanent loss risk. You do not get rid of impermanent loss risk fully, so that is something to keep in mind. Third is, well, there's such thing as hacks. This is a very complex project. Not super complex, but it is pretty complex. in what they're doing, especially how they're using the Uniswap v3 model and basically being the whales for people. So it's a pretty interesting protocol, a lot of junk going on, and Popsicle Finance also integrates with a couple of other protocols that he has, and I'm sure he's going to integrate more and more with them. As you can see here, he is already LPing with Spell, and Spell is one of his other protocols, which is Abracadabra Money. So guys, that's how you can play around with Popsicle Finance. It is live. You guys can use it. You can join in single-sided. You don't have to have both tokens. Like if you just wanted to zap in, you can do that, or you can use WETH. It's up to you. Like WETH and Spell. You can just do one token, both tokens. It's entirely up to you. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. If you guys want to jump in the Discord, and it's the Patreon link in the description below, you guys can learn about protocols I don't even talk about on YouTube. You guys can see what I'm actually doing in different farms, see some of my portfolios, different positions. Of course, it's all not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and it's a lot of fun seeing me get wrecked. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and let's go ahead and leave you guys with a wisdom one-liner. All right, boys and girls, Proverbs chapter 15 verses 28. The heart of the righteous weighs its answers, but the mouth of the wicked gushes evil. Think about your answers, guys. You got one mouth, 2 ears. Let's do it. I wonder if we had 2 brains. Yeah, I guess you could say we do have 2 brains. We got a left brain and a right brain, and we got a conscious. Use the conscious. Y'all guys can also catch me on Tweeters. It's at Rent a Home Fast, like literally at Rent a Home Fast.